about some fun stuff and talk about trading too. So I always have a lot of fun with it. So looking forward to an awesome conversation with you, Rachel. But I guess first off, how's your week been? It's been a crazy week, as it turns out, in the market. It was started off quiet, but ended with a bang.
Yeah, I was hoping that we would hold support above, that 21-day line on the indexes and just keep moving higher. But yeah, economic conditions are just putting us lower. So yeah, it's been a tough market this whole year.
It has. So just when we thought we were starting to see signs of, the market getting back on its feet and priming for a potential new leg higher, we get slammed down again, and it's kind of brutal. But we talk about on IBD Live all the time how we're remaining flexible and open-minded to upside and downside scenarios. So yeah, we're getting market feedback, just not the feedback that we want.
Right. Yeah, and we have to just surrender to that. And yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how, with that, how you've been handling your portfolio with the market feedback that you're getting.
So yeah, I had a very clear line in the sand where if the indexes went below, that 21-day line, that was going to be, a big red flag for me. And with the volume being so heavy today, it's just there's sell signals all over. So I've gone into all cash for right now, and I'm still keeping an eye out if there are opportunities that come up. But as IBD people know, when the market's trending lower, you don't want to go against it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have minimal exposure right now. Definitely took profits. Luckily, we've been talking about a lot of early entries, profits into strength, and playing offense instead of playing defense. The opportunity that I've been able to do that is with a couple of oil and gas stocks. I know you as well, but it's kind of like even within oil and gas, a tale of two markets, because you have something like ERF, which I guess I can pull up here quickly. I still have about a quarter of my half position remaining, been taking profits into strength. But then you have something like FLNG, which really is shaking out a lot of shareholders this week. Definitely an expectation breaker, but was able to take some profits into strength there as well, but completely out of that. And then the only other thing I have right now is just a little bit of TBT from the initial entry that we flagged on the 5th of April. And then I added, took some profits into strength, but then added a little bit more on that gap up at the end of May. But anyway, before we move on and talk about some fundamental research, some in-depth fundamental research, I wanted to talk a little bit about your journey as a trader, because you may look young, and you are young, but your market and trading experience is pretty deep. And you've been with IBD, I can't believe it, Rachel, you've been with IBD almost 3 years now. That's so crazy. Yeah. So how would you say your trading style has changed over the last couple of years with, all the different twists and turns that the market has presented, 2020, 2021, 2022, all very different kinds of markets that have, I think, helped all of us, just deepen our skills even more. But, coming into IBD, you having a lot of option experience as well, trading crypto. So talk to us a little bit about your trading journey.
Yeah, so it's been going on 11 years now, which is that's almost half of my life. Not quite. I started when I was 15, and I just basically learned everything that I could online and taught myself as much as possible. And I didn't come across IBD, but I was like looking at a bunch of different services and systems, and how do you do this? What's the best way to do it? And most of them are they're not great. And you kind of have to rely on yourself and just playing the market a lot. And then you really get that experience firsthand. And then you can kind of, navigate a little bit more easily. But when I was 18, I started trading options. And I liked that because in markets like this, where it's, sideways or going down, you can still be very engaged and active, putting on trades. And I mean, since finding IBD and just having this community, my trading has become so much more organized and consistent. I think consistency is always the hardest thing, for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. It's great to have a community where we can kind of feed off of each other, and we all bring a slightly different perspective to the table, so we're all learning from each other. There, never stop learning. I feel like it's a common thread that we have with the team. So that's pretty cool. So would you say that because you do a weekly option video for IBD, what would you say is your favorite option strategy?
Favorite strategy? I like credit spreads. So verticals, just receiving the premium. You've got your defined range, and it's pretty simple to manage, and the risk on those is defined. So you can't, with some strategies, you can have unlimited losses, which kind of just the idea of that scares me a little bit more. And I've traded them. So, for people who've never traded them, it's like, it can be very intimidating. But yeah, verticals are easy. They're quick.
Yeah, you know what you're in for. It's a defined risk strategy. So yeah, that's awesome. And a little shout out from Mike. He's talking about your option videos in the chat. I would say, Mike, Bill O'Neill didn't talk to me directly or Rachel at all about shorting, but I do know that Bill did favor only shorting in a prolonged bear market. And Rachel, it seems like we're there, and the team has been talking a lot more this week about short setups.
Yeah, I haven't dabbled in those. I've been just staying on the long side, but I definitely agree, like, that the market I think we all need to start adapting to, maybe relying on those a little bit more. So
yeah. I mean, I have used SQQQ, so if that is the way that I will at times get some short exposure. But Rachel, now let's talk about conducting in-depth fundamental research, because speaking of Bill O'Neill, this is something that he did. If it was a retailer, he would go to the parking lot and count the number of cars there. So if it's a retail or consumer play, David Ryan as well has talked about, my kids got an iPod or iPhone. What's that? And so that's not to say that that fundamental side or that kind of new product is the sole reason for investing in a stock. You of course have to consult the charts and market conditions, but having that in-depth fundamental research can be that extra, layer of conviction if you are looking to make trades in those kinds of stocks that you're able to conduct that kind of research in. And especially now in the current market, where on the growth side, there haven't been a lot of actionable stocks. There's a lot of damaged charts. I mean, now seems like the perfect time to conduct that in-depth research, right?
We have all of this, some of it, some extra time, I think, to be that sort of thing. And it's, I think most of the stocks that I've been trading, I don't use the products, which is kind of a weird thing. But when you do use the product and it's great, and your friends say it's great, then it just boosts your conviction so much more, and that's important.
Exactly. Okay, so let's get specific here. Some in our audience may recall you previously, I believe it was sometime last year, you wrote a New America article on Olaplex, OLPX, and you did that fundamental research and you are continuing to do it because I guess you it turned from research to an actual legitimate obsession. I would go so bold to say a product that you really like, you truly like. Tell us more.
I do, yeah. And I have only used, they have, I think, 11 products out there right now, or around 11 total. And I only use one of them. So I need to actually do more research and expand and make sure that, all of the products are good.
Yeah.
But I just use one of them for now. And just looking at how they market on social media, it's, very bold, very interactive. People like everywhere are responding so well. I think they just got into Ulta Beauty as well, which is,
Notable.
Yeah, definitely.
It is, and we're showing the chart here right now. So, even though the story is there, and it is very compelling what they are doing for the hair care market, and proven results that you yourself have seen and experienced, doesn't mean that we should be trading the stock at this time. It did have an IPO based breakout failure. It's tried to bottom, and this week, Rachel, it did even tighten up, and I was seeing some people in our Q&A on IBD Live, and I think even on FinTwit saying, hey, it's trying to break out of short-term range. Of course I could say this here, but I really did at the time feel kind of iffy about that. It felt pretty early. It wasn't surprising for me, Friday's action aside, to see a bit of a squat there because so many retail eyes are on this one, and of course you have the overall market conditions not helping things either. But it seems like this chart needs more time. What are you looking for?
So I mean, it's sold off over 7% today. That's definitely notable, and now it's below its 21-day line. It'd be great if it gets support here at its 50-day line, but it may not. So just have to be prepared for that. And I would like to see it set up a base, a proper base to break out from, or give an early buy point where it's in the top half of the trading range. So I think those two things would make me feel better for sure. And then a higher RS line, better RS rating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it needs more time. And although it has moved nicely off the lows, so around earnings, it was it was under $12, got as high as 17. Hey, yeah, that was a nice move higher, but it's now fighting to hold above that 50-day line, and just now starting to turn around. So if it can continue to now have an uptrend here, like you said, form a base above a rising 50-day moving average, I think that would be a big step in the right direction. But our audience, if you haven't seen a clip that we cut earlier this week, David Ryan was talking about what to look for in these IPO stocks that have gotten really beaten down, that are trying to turn around. We looked at the early trading history for Apple, for Microsoft, and for Shopify. And he discussed the price and volume clues that you should look for before getting in. So it does feel like it's a little too early for Olaplex, but keeping it on the radar because it does have that new to it. And who knows, when the market really can get back on its feet, perhaps Olaplex is something that's going to be in that next crop of leaders. We don't know yet, but it's definitely one to watch, Rachel. So thanks for your added information there.
Yeah.
And before we go, of course, you're a dog lover like myself. So, and we may have seen your pups kind of in the background or the sides there. So you have to introduce them to our audience real quick.
Okay, this is Ski. He's very shy. And the other one here is named Myrrh, and she's very aggressive. Yeah, man.
Uh,
Yeah.
so sweet. And where do their names come from?
I didn't pick them. My friend picked them. So yeah.
Well, they're very cute. So love them. Jojo says hi. And yeah, hope you have a great weekend, Rachel. Thanks for spending this little happy hour time with me. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, this was great. Do it again sometime.
Yeah, that would be really good. All right, everyone, thank you for watching. And coming up next Friday on Stock Tales, David Ryan. Speaking of, he's going to join me in the hot seat. It'll be good to have him on for a fun, casual, and informative conversation as always. So hope you have a great weekend out there, everyone. Thanks so much for watching live and seeing all of your submissions in the chat. Thank you, Mike and Rolando, for watching, and we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend.